As we come towards the end of 2024 and moving into 2025, we may be looking at setting New Year's resolutions. It's commonly done with many people. It's kind of almost a social tradition that we set a New Year's resolution of what we set out to achieve in our 2025, our new year. And sometimes that can come in the form of going to the gym, getting stronger, losing weight, changing jobs, getting more finances. And it's almost an addition to our lives, what we want to bring in the new year. We're setting a goal to achieve something. And we'll also probably sign up to a lot of courses, a lot of 21-day courses, a lot of self-help courses where we may have been helping ourselves already, but now we're going to pay some money to help ourselves even more. And when we're helping ourselves with an issue that we no longer want affecting us in our life. And we also might want to hit the pause button before we get busy doing on what actually a resolution is. And definitely in trauma treatment, resolution is one of the main goals that we're actually going to therapy for, or having some form of therapeutic tool applied to us that we can actually start to have a resolution. If we have an issue, then that which is no longer an issue in our life, that we've started to address that issue, that we've had awareness of it, and we've started to apply a therapy to it, we start to no longer have that issue in our life. It starts to resolve. It's found its resolution, or another way to say it, it's found its closure. It's no longer perpetuating. It's no longer affecting our lives or impeding our lives in many different ways where we can't actually function to our full capacity. And it's an unbinding in a way. It's actually started to no longer be that roadblock to our life. And as we look towards our New Year's resolutions, we set out to do many external things, such as go to the gym, to work on getting more stronger, perhaps to attract a partner. We might want to lose weight because the weight was not what we wanted to see ourselves looking like, or may have been impeding our health. But another way to look at these things is what is actually causing us to feel that way. Sometimes we want to be doing the external things to make the internal feel better, because we might be just trying to fill a gap that is unfulfilled within us. And when we try to build upon what we want in our life by setting these goals, these New Year's resolutions, sometimes we might be setting it on shaky foundations already. And unfortunately, sometimes that can turn into the old demotivating coach within ourselves, starting to beat ourselves up because we weren't able to stick to our goals. But rather than looking at setting our New Year's resolutions as things of what we want in our future, it may be setting the resolution of resolving the issues that are affecting us in the past. So moving into the future, maybe dealing with those issues that affected us in the past and starting to resolve those issues so they are no longer an issue. And when we have that resolution within ourselves, that closure where something was actually affecting us and we can feel fulfilled and healthy within ourselves, then it builds that strong foundation upon bringing things into our life, because trauma creates a disconnection from ourselves. We might have gone into very people-pleasing behaviors where it's all about everyone else's needs and making sure that how they see us is not going to be actually a reflection of who we truly are. We have to be all these things for them. We have to be strong, healthy, fit. We have to keep up a good appearance, but behind closed doors, it might be a different feeling altogether. So starting to reconnect to ourselves, starting to resolve some of these issues, may start to begin again a new life where we might not be chasing the external. We're feeling just satisfied and complete within our own internal selves, and what we wish to bring into our lives may be different to what we're expected to be doing in a social context. So it's not about being antisocial, it's less about being anti our own inner self and starting to connect to some of those uncomfortable feelings to where we can start to bring a little bit more comfort within ourselves, similar to someone that might be feeling great discomfort within their life and finding comfort through comfort eating. You kind of want to deal with the uncomfort so it allows to have more comfort within our body, or perhaps less control when we feel like we're out of control. When we look at things like trauma, it can be very hard at the end of the year to say, well, something like CPTSD no longer affects me, because sometimes when we peel back a layer on trauma, especially with CPTSD, it's like an onion. There's going to be another layer that comes up. So it probably wouldn't be realistic to say, well, at the end of the year, I want all my trauma resolved. It would be nice, but whether it's going to be realistic. But another way to look at it is the things in my past of what was affecting me that wasn't a part of me. What is it in my life that is actually starting to address those issues so they are no longer an issue and they have found its resolution, it's found its closure? And sometimes it is mixing it up and trying like EFT tapping or a combination of tools to actually start to resolve or down-regulate intensity around triggers, starting to discharge the charge around some of why we might start to fire up or start to shut down, so that we can feel a little bit more within ourselves. What will be your New Year's resolution in the new year of what you don't want to bring in by addressing those issues in the old years, perhaps in the childhood years, and starting to honestly look at ourselves where we can start to connect to who we are, not what we want to be in other people's eyes. So yeah, to resolve, to find closure, to find that fullness and completeness within oneself, I think that would be a great New Year's resolution by dealing with the old year's disillusion. I'm Dion from Eflation Support Services. I offer EFT tapping one-on-one online, and check out eflationsupportservices.com if you want an EFT tapping one-on-one to start to downregulate stress and let it go with the flow and find some comfort within oneself. On a very side note, and this is not a very good New Year's resolution, but I have found a completion to one thing. There was a woman's perfume that I like the smell of, not to wear. I just like the smell of, and I could never describe the smell. If I go back into my old INFJ chats, we do have that inferior extroverted sensing. It's not our predominant thing, so we're not going to be very good when it comes to describing the sensory world. And whenever I came across, like, I'd smell it on women, and I just like the smell of it. I don't know why. It's just a good smell. And I came across it accidentally because I had no idea how to explain it. All I knew that it just smelled sweet. And I brought a car perfume scent thing. It was jasmine. I have found my completion. How many years of just in the background of my brain I've been like struggling with how long this smell has been, like the name of the smell, because I don't know how to describe a smell. There's a man's fragrance that I like as well, and all I can describe it as is it's like a rich businessman's smell when they go to the airport. This is the sensory knowledge that I'm trying to deal with, so I don't know what it is. Another big thing towards the end of the year is a big shout out to my mate Shaden and his family for giving me an awesome Christmas. I do appreciate everything that you did. It was the best Christmas I've had in a long time. We had a good Kiwi feed, and we played some pool and just hung out, and it was really relaxing. So the possibilities of being open to new experiences relies on the capacity to find closure to the things that cause us to close up, to shield, and to also not trust in the kindness of strangers. But for me, it's kind of been the opposite. The strangers have been the kind people that have opened their hearts and their homes to me. And I finally had a Christmas where I wasn't by myself. So it was an awesome thing, and my thanks to Shaden and his family. So big shout out. They'll as I said in another chat, they'll no doubt show in some of the chats because they're quite awesome people and they're very uplifting people as well. So I look forward to having them on the chat. But I wish you a happy new year and finding a closure to the old you, and perhaps there's a new you waiting to be greeted and connected to. So I'm Dion from Reflection Support Sisters, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.